Servus, Männer, it's Red Pill Germany again. I've been trying recently to keep you up to date about what is going on in Germany, what are the general changes that are happening to our industry and also to our political system. And today I will tell you about another very worrisome development in my native country of Germany. Today's topic is the out of control spending binge that the German state is on at the moment, and I will give you numerous specific examples for what I mean by that. I will give you specific examples where the German state is spending as if there was no tomorrow, while at the same time the German state caused a lot of problems that we have right now, and the German state is asking the German taxpayers to save electricity, to not heat their homes, and to be content with less, and to just, accept the same payment and really high inflation rates at the same time while continuing to work and continuing to pay taxes, of course. So in recent videos, I explained to you how our current government is trying to deindustrialize Germany, and also how the welfare state is really kicking into high gear right now. They are even increasing the welfare payments, both in the level of payments that a recipient is eligible for, and also in the group or the size of the group of people that are eligible. So both the number of welfare recipients rises and also the payments per person goes up. Absolutely insane. But now, today, I want to tell you about how the state itself is growing. And of course, we know that every government has this tendency, of course, because politicians want to buy votes, and the bureaucracy and the political system, they need to have a reason to exist, and that is why they create these problems. And they tend, at least in Western style democracies, they seem to have a natural tendency to always grow and grow. The government, the state never shrinks, it seems. Only in extreme crisis situations that can happen, but the natural order of things is that government and the state only grow. And we see this right now here also. Like between 2000 and 2005, there was a reduction in public sector employees, and now we're almost at 5 million again. So let me give you some examples. So by the end of November, I read the headline that our new government now, they want to create 10,000 new positions. They inherited, of course, a really large government apparatus from Angela Merkel's previous government, but that is not big enough for them. It's not large enough. They want 10,000 more public sector jobs directly for the government. That means for the government itself, for the Chancellor, and also for the ministries. And this is, of course, not office floor cleaning staff or something. We're talking here about public sector positions. We're talking about public officers. These people are officers of the state in most cases. That means they are not just hired for the term, they will have pensions for life, of course. This is really huge. The number 10,000 itself doesn't really give the whole picture. You must always consider that these are officers of the state with pensions and everything. And of course, these people don't produce anything, they don't pay any taxes inherently, and they are a great burden on the German taxpayer, much more so than any welfare recipient, of course. And of course, these people must work somewhere, which brings me already to my next example, and that is the Germania-like luxury building that was already planned under Angela Merkel's government. But of course, the new government is not just dropping this extravagant plan, but they're of course realizing it now, and that is the Kanzleramt, that is, the office of the Chancellor. It's not a ministry, but it is, so to speak, the ministry of the Chancellor, or the office of the Chancellor. And that thing was built under Schröder, I think. And Merkel had now this plan to make it larger and to restructure this area completely, so to speak. You can see some of the models, some of the plans here. And of course, as the plans progressed and as it became more and more concrete, of course, the estimated cost also went through the roof, and we are approaching a billion euros right now. I think it stands now at between 7 and 800 million euros just for this addition or this upgrade of the Bundeskanzleramt. And I know I'm running the risk of repeating myself here, but bear in mind what politicians are telling us this year, that we must suffer for the current thing and that we should feel guilty if we turn up the heat in our apartments in winter when it's minus 10 degrees outside, that we shouldn't eat meat anymore, and that we shouldn't use cars anymore, that we shouldn't use planes for vacation trips or to visit friends. No, we must just sit in the dark, in the cold, go to work, pay our taxes, and that's it. While the German state is spending like there is no tomorrow. And also, I have to add that the German industry, the German companies, they are also saving money. And if you go to a German company, if you visit their headquarters, for example, it is sometimes or most of the time it is very minimalistic. You will not find any luxurious buildings, and of course the office space for the staff is furnished with extremely cheap and very old and worn out furniture. And then when you go to a government office, when you have to register a car or when you apply for something or whatever, then you see luxurious office furniture and you see that the buildings are the finest in town. Often they are residing in castles. I'm not even joking. These are historic buildings, castles of some lord or some palace even, and the state or some ministry or some government office, they repurposed that as the office building. And this is where these bureaucrats are literally residing these days. They are the same buildings that were built under feudalism in the Reich by some feudal lord, actually. And don't think for a minute that they would keep the temperature in the room at 18 or 19 degrees Celsius. No, of course, it's cozy warm because the taxpayer has to pay for everything. And of course, while workers in the industry have not seen a raise in many years, the public sector workers, I don't really dare to call them workers, let's call them public sector beings, they received fat bonuses also under the last current thing, and now they can look forward to fat bonuses and increased payments on the expense of the taxpayer, of course, once again. You should also remember that the German state is conducting this political education, politische Bildung seminars for a lot of these officers, and what they will be told during these seminars is oftentimes that the German working class family is dangerous. They are the enemy of the state and they must be dealt with. Now let's take 2 or 3 steps back and look at the complete picture. What can we see here? The German state is now building up a officer class that is indoctrinated in order to despise or even hate their own countrymen that have to work in order to pay for all these public sector pensions and all this redistributed income that they receive on a daily basis. And not only that, the state is also arming, of course, these officers. They are ordering them to spy on German citizens and to bully them and to generally have an eye on them because they are dangerous. All right, so as you can see, not only is Germany being deindustrialized by the decisions and the direct policies that our current government is implementing, no, we are of course also giving away a lot of money overseas. I talked about that a lot of times, and now you can see that the German state has entered a phase of uncontrolled growth. And that, of course, at a time where the German citizens, the industry worker, the private sector worker is becoming more and more impoverished, while the state has more money than they had ever before at their disposal. Let me know how this is in your country and especially how it developed or accelerated in recent years since the last current thing, since 2020, for example. I'm looking forward to reading your comments. Have a good day. Servus, Kameraden.